Alright guys, what is up? It is Zura here, and today we have, what is it, episode 2? Probably episode 2, or round 2, or whatever episode of this, whatever I'm gonna name the series. I haven't decided yet. It's episode 2, I still don't know what it's called, but episode 2 of, me roasting your list and roasting your gameplay. So, today we have Radix, with his predictions. So, first off is Decklist. There are a few things I actually will say about this. Starter, Conroe, obviously. You got this correct, obviously. Grade ones. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. It's fine for what it is, but I'm personally not the biggest fan of the Malakoa, whatever things his name is, the grade one counter charger. It's okay, but it's not amazing. Just because you need to use counter blast to counter charge will make it a little awkward. It's nice that it's soul out. So yeah. The one Ana is kind of whatever, just the one off flexible. PGs are PGs, so nothing. Grade 2s, obviously, if you're playing Newt, you're playing 4 Whirlwinds, so that's right there. Same with the Greatsmith, the Neoflame. You play some amount, you play 3 to 4 of this. He's playing 4, so it's fine. And then the other grade 2s are a little iffy. I don't know how many pain lasers he has, but I honestly am not a fan of like one lead or 2 mates. I feel like at this point you might as well just cut these cards and play like better cards in these slots instead. If you have them, better cards being like Striken, not Striken, not Striken, Bellicosity, Burnouts, especially because in this list he is playing 8 Overlords. So Burnout is a consideration as well, even though it does remove triggers from the deck. You can still proc it, so you can retire. I guess Striken's fine too, but I'm just not the biggest fan of. I personally do not like the 1 lead or 2 mate kind of configuration. It feels like you're just kind of throwing cards that make the pain laser work, and the mate is kind of whatever to be honest. Menace laser is like a CB2 retire. And then the last grade 2 being the I don't know what the fuck this thing's name is, but I know the skill is when something in this card's column is retired, you can check top 5 to add something from your deck with the same name as the card on your vanguard. So I think this card in a list with the Great just isn't good. There's literally no synergy here. The Great is retiring by attacking, not by effect. If you want to proc this with the Neoflame, you have to put this like behind a Neoflame, which is just we're beyond all that. Although this card I think is fine if you're playing a list with 4 pain lasers and 4 newt, because you actually get max value out of it. If you just put this in a column where your opponent's 2 cards and you newt them, you get to proc the card twice, meaning you actually get double value from it. Either card you add is fine because Menace Laser is an intercept, and Pain Laser is a card you can loop to reroute on the Falling Turn Legion again. So this card itself is it's like a cool food for thought kind of card, but not in a list with the grade in my opinion. So with that, but if he finds out it works, or if he doesn't have anything better, it's also fine. And finally, grade 3s for the grade 4 newt. I think these are like the stable cards you should be playing in the deck in every Hogwarts deck right now. I already went over my thoughts on the 1 pain laser earlier, but whatever. And 4 Overlords for nothing wrong with this. If you don't have an extra set of Legions, Overlord's the next best thing. Even if you do have an extra set of Legions, Overlord is still working. Since he's not playing Burnouts, base deal on heals. This is my thoughts on the list, and then gameplay. Newt. This is a mirror. Yes, I actually would have mulliganed the exact same way. So Newt is a card you don't want to ride first, so you actually don't want to hold it in hand. Obviously, if you're forced to ride something eventually and it's only right in your hand, you will ride it, but in your opening mulligan, I think it is worth digging for something better, mainly the Great. And I definitely do agree with tossing the extra intercept. More specifically, the Whirlwind, because you don't really need the Whirlwind right now, and if you're forced to ride something, you'd rather ride the Menace Laser than the Whirlwind, because the Whirlwind is a persona target for the Newt. And you really don't need that many extra. So realistically, you really want to dig for a Gojo by Mirror, obviously, most likely in Conroe. They did find the Great, so you do have your optimal first ride. Both Great ones are the same thing, so the ride choice here doesn't. I think that's And I guess I should go over Conroe placement as well. Against Kagero, Conroe absolutely goes behind the Vanguard because if you put it off to the side, you just don't use it for whatever reason, when you on the board for next turn or something. Menace Laser could kill it. You made a column for whatever reason. Eagle Flame could kill it. Obviously, that requires you to be straight up bad at the game for that to happen, but in a case where you actually just don't use it or your opponent damage denies you, the Conroe is much safer behind the Vanguard. Opponent swings, meaning he is willing to let both sides trade Conroe, and then way to kill it. Otherwise, the opponent definitely could have filtered something out here and then deny it. Menace Laser. What does he search? Ah, yes. Okay. This is actually very correct. I also would have searched Gojo here. You have the 1 PG of security, and you do need to set Legion up eventually, and your hand isn't the best right now, so grabbing Gojo here to fix your hand instead of drop someone, I think is definitely better. Placement is also right because this deck just cannot spare extra boosters behind the Vanguard. I do think your first booster you played out should always be off to the side. And since turn 2, this deck doesn't exactly want to aggro early, so yeah, just swing back. Playing the Dauntless 12k attacker. Looking very jank to me. Another Dauntless 12k attacker. So he pops the Conroe, doesn't want it to die, makes sense. Well, I grabs PG. Yep, I was right, grab the PG. And then, not scaling. So, ignoring the fact that this isn't scaling, he is straight up on a 1 pass. This attack order is also wrong because regardless of what happens, let's say he does hit it. We don't know yet. Doesn't really matter. Regardless of if there is a trigger here or not, Vanguard should be first here because, for one, you shouldn't be doing this to begin with. But if you're just dead set on doing extra damage for whatever reason, Vanguard should be first because if you flip a heal, you can actually heal. If you swing like this, Vanguard you cannot heal. So no defensive, and this is 0-1 pass. No 1 pass, so I guess it didn't matter. But reference, you should always swing. If you can play for a heal, you should always play for it. Rise to the Great. Oh. Okay, there was actually something to point out here. So if you just look at the board state like this, right? So your opponent, you are not doing more than 1 damage here, and you don't need the booster to actually hit. Because your opponent is playing Kagero, by lining your board up like this, by making a column, if your opponent plays down a Neoflame here, your Gojo is dead. This should have just gone here to avoid making a column for Neoflame to be unable to just kill your booster. So yeah, this is actually wrong placement. This should be by itself because you don't need the booster to hit it. Alright, the Great. And the Legion. I wish it showed how much drop the opponent had. Okay, he showed it for me. He hurt me. The replay hurt me. He has 3 drops, is 1 short. Okay, yeah, this is right. You definitely don't overcommit here. No Neoflames and no punish on the Gojo. Plays down the column either. I don't know why opponent's thinking so much. You are just gonna swing past here. Not much else to do. Raupia. Very interesting deck list, though. Put it nicely. Very interesting deck list here from the opponent. There was an extra copy of the Great. There's definitely no point riding here. You definitely do throw the heal out here if you're leading it back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think it actually matters. It really didn't matter what he put back. Like 3 triggers was obvious, and then the con roller rate 2 just is under preference. I don't think it matters that much. Nothing can exactly go wrong there. This is actually fine. This is playing around the opponent using the grade as well. He also did flip heal, so very nice there. So the damage isn't too far off either. If you're greedy, you definitely could have played down like something here to swing by itself. Just swing, hope you get 1 pass, or make a call on the other side. But this play is fine too. Either or, just how greedy you were. You definitely could have played down 1 other card and swung with it. Could have been the great. Could have just been the great. Another copy of the great. Okay, so what were the discard? We chose to discard this grade 2 and the Newt. I personally would have threw away the great and something else and held the more specifically. I would have held the Newt because Newt is still your best follow-up play here. If anything, you definitely could have thrown away like 2 intercepts if you really wanted to, because you're probably gonna die in it, right? But the cards you definitely should have held here are PG Booster, actually. So he did help hold the right cards there, but I do think you should be holding Newt as a follow. Just ensure you have a strong follow-up finisher for later. I definitely would have helped the Newt. PG, and see, he drew a Newt. Meaning, if he held a Newt, he just straight up have a Persona Blast here. Although, by doing that play last turn, by not putting anything out, you make it so your opponent just can't use their copy of the Great here either, because Great has a swing to rares. Okay, let me see what his opponent's going to do first. If the opponent's going to put down like a 12 game swing twice like that, then sure, but otherwise you should have held off on Legioning. Because again, if you see any more triggers, you want to dump those back in. Okay, I guess if this is your play, it's fine, just because for the opponent, just because this makes it so you can actually hit. Wait. Draw, very powerful. This overhand. Okay, this overhand, you drop your Gojo, it's kind of whatever. There actually is a little bit of thought here. Newt is wrong. Writing Newt here is wrong. Yeah, the thing you think about here is rewriting the Great, and then just Legioning 4 triggers back. Right, so he does choose to do it. I don't think there was anything wrong with doing this. I think this just comes down to, do you think you can just trigger back? Obviously, you're increasing your probability by doing that, but rewriting here with trigger backs is still technically a -1 until you hit a draw trigger or flip a heal or something. Legion? You probably do Legion here. You definitely. I don't know what the point of that was, but okay. Okay, so he was missing a mate too, so obviously, yeah, you need to make that if you want to Legion again. I don't know what the point of putting that 7k booster down. I guess he didn't want to go overhand. I don't think that was worth putting the card down, just because that booster could have been discard fodder here, because now your discard choices are a lot worse. Because now you definitely could have held an extra booster in your hand and just not have this potentially die for no reason. We drew a Newt and an Overlord. Alright, so I'll let the director look at this. I'll just look for something before. Alright, so that attack order was And obviously, it didn't particularly matter because middle was 20, and 20 is not 21 when you're not scaling properly. But the order should have been rear first before Vanguard, because in a case where you flipped a heal, you would have gone down to 3, and if your opponent's 4th damage was also a heal, they would have been able to heal. If you swung rear first and their damage was a heal, it would have been stuffed because you had more damage than them, and then if you healed, you still would have healed, but you denied your opponent. So just a little thing like that. The more optimized order there is rear first, Vanguard second. Yeah, you didn't have a choice here. You had to make a column. You had to make the column somewhere. You know, you gotta let your booster die, but you have another one, so it's fine. So no boosters for the opponent, so his laser just straight up on a 1 pass here. He's a crit. He's a crit here, so I guess this is probably the best trigger he could have gone here. And he is restanding, so you can go rear and then Vanguard. But it has 3 PG's hands, so you're just straight up fine here. Neoflame kill the booster makes sense. Don't heal, gamer. I see. How's this 2 heal? Understandable. Okay, this attack order is also wrong. You're not scaling here, and you have a crit, so you can just straight up get the check here first. They check off for all your triggers. This is terrible attack order from the opponent. This was definitely a Vanguard first scenario, because you also get the chance of double healing, because you're in a shit position. So you kind of need to hide all the win. Did he get punished for it? He absolutely got punished for that. He absolutely got punished for that play. He definitely could have gone at least 1-2. And this is probably just game. He doesn't even 3-run. He can just use Overlord and it honestly doesn't. Actually, no, this is better. This is actually. The Newt here is better because he has the counter charger here. He gets a follow up for the following turn in case the opponent doesn't. Because if you just stay out of this, use Overlord. If they live, you're not doing anything here. You're not doing anything on the following turn. But if you use Newt, you can hit. You're at 1 counter blast. This unflips 1. That makes it 2 counter blasts. You have a follow up for the following turn. You just place down the whirlwind and your cards on the board, and you hold the extra Newt in your hand. So lost whatever, doesn't really matter. And even if the opponent, again, order here kind of matters. Just because a pain laser here, or not pain, yeah, actually pain laser too matters here. In case they live pain laser or Neoflame, they're gonna hit your intercept for sure, but they might not hit the Overlord. Meaning, your booster, if they have one of those, just dies. If there's a soft around and they had like a pain laser or pain laser, for example, and they were trying to kill your intercept off, your booster would have to live. Again, just a little optimization there that you could have maybe could have held the booster in case they actually live and get a chance to kill it with something. Obviously, it didn't matter, so I guess that didn't matter. But it definitely could have mattered. Game 2 was another mirror. I'm Logan. Oh, you are going first. So you are going first, and you had the Gojo, so it was fine to hold either or the Pain Laser or the Great. It just comes down to which card you'd rather ride first. I don't think I. Another copy of the Great. You definitely do use the Vanguard quickly here. What you toss here, I just tossing new stuff. The Great does have potential uses for just being a persona for the extra for the copy of the Great that you use, right? Because the Great does have the on hit sack persona copy too. Heal, that's fine. Key. I mean, don't have exact weapon choice with the ride here. So. Alright, so. Give me a second. Using Kano is fine, but since you're going first, there definitely is an argument to not put the Gojo down so early in case your opponent just has somebody. Or if you wanted to put this somewhere else for some reason. Obviously, if he just wants to filter the extra time to grade out, that's fine. Nothing particularly wrong with that. But there definitely is the option to hold the extra boost. Just hold the booster in hand. Yeah, you get him a third PG, but honestly, this for a hand this early, this is actually a really bad hand. Just because the grade does require you to discard 2 cards to restand. So because you need like probably like 1 playable on the board and then 2 discards. This hand is kind of cluttered, so you might actually end up having to discard PG to do that. But obviously, you didn't know you'd filter into a PG, so that's not the point. Just me pointing out that a 3 PG hand on turn 2 when you have like your hand size is like 2 other cards, and one of which is a ride is just not actually that good. You definitely don't wish. You actually did not wish you had this many PGs in your hand right now. I would say Gojo, I think? That did block it out. I'm pretty sure that was a Gojo. Got a Gojo because he probably wants to step up in position too. He is going second, so he does need. The opponent does need a turbo to drop here. Yeah, this is absolutely right. You definitely do not commit anything. For 1, you'd be if your opponent rides the great, you'd be giving them a card to hit. For 2, if you made a column and here, you can also get punched by Pain Laser and a Neo Flame. So yeah, it was definitely correct to just swing past. Mirrors are relatively slow too, especially if you don't give them the ability to use the great immediately. So swing past here though was definitely correct. Also choose the swing pass. Strong. It's a heal, which is obviously really good. So before we even go to turn, alright, so okay, we saw the drop, but the best top deck here was by far another copy of the Great or a Neo Flame. Because your opponent left you no front row to. I'm just gonna get this Gojo off. Because the opponent left nothing for you in the front to hit here, you can't use the Great, but you can Legion, and you probably do want to Legion. Sure back. If he had an extra copy of the Great or a Neo Flame, he could have made the play of swing rear into this and hope your opponent doesn't see a defensive. Obviously, you're not. But to make a play like this, you swing like the Great or the Neo Flame into the Great into the Vanguard, and then you hit with the Vanguard. Assuming you get punished, of course, you hit the Vanguard. You can sack off that copy of the Great or the Neo Flame and kill this off. You did 2 damage, and you cleared your front row off, so they still can't use their copy of the Great. So, and that's just an interaction that can happen a lot in the mirror. So, holding Persona copies is definitely something you should think about in the mirror. You just use a Legion here, which is fine because he is putting back 3 draws, meaning even if you swing rear first to hit for 2 damage. Your draws are still alive. Correct. This was absolutely this was 100% the right thing to do here. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking with the Gojo trying to put that down, but he definitely hold everything here. And this time he did make the correct play of putting the 12k by itself instead of in front of the Gojo here to make a column, because by putting like this, you don't get punished by Pain Laser or Neo. So this was absolutely the correct play here. Because there also wasn't a point in overcommitting it than you needed to. The only downside to this play is that since he did top deck a nuke here, but you don't have a shot for nuke because you have to put the Roland down. But I think it's fine doing it like this. This was definitely the correct play to make. Flame? You see? If you made a call, the Neo Flame could have punished. Could have been a punish here. Just the heal. Oh, very good, very good. Very good for the opponent, at least. Double heal. Very skilled player. Very, very skilled player. Yeah. Just a thing to note, this is the Great's biggest issue. It doesn't scale. It is 20k. It doesn't hit over a single defense. Which is just something to note. That is the Great's biggest issue here. It does get the defensive, so the Great is just straight up on a one pass now. So he does hit, and since he did rail all the power onto the Neo Flame is hitting us gets another defense. Which he does get, which is a heal. So, yeah. The Neo Flame just isn't hitting here. Alright, this play was... I actually do agree with this play from the opponent too, because you double heal, you're not even in danger of dying. So, clearing off boosters against Kagero is actually just something you should think about all the time. Because if you can clear it, you probably should try to clear it. There is absolutely no reason right here. This is correct. Again, like I said, like I literally just said earlier, killing boosters is always nice. It's always good against Kagero, and because he had the counter charger, he can make that kind of less money. This is still a rather low commit play, so you still have cards in hand to discard for this. Again, these are also the correct discards because you want to hold Newt for a follow-up, and you want to hold the booster just in case they kill this booster off. Because you did have to make a column here, meaning Neo Flame or Pain Laser could punish you. Speaking of Neo Flame and Pain Laser, it is exactly those two. He does win the correct order this time. The potential chance of a heal. See? Like to heal here, and if he flips the heal here, that was absolutely correct order. So he gets the one pass anyways, and he didn't heal, so the opponent's blank heal here didn't matter. But if he did heal, the opponent would have also gone it. That was the correct attack order. The opponent just thinks they want to. Rex is new. He has Rex is at 3, so you at most would need 2 PGs here. At most 2 PGs if he has like double scaling booster. But I'm assuming he did this just to Legion the heals back. Newt your opponents at 3 is definitely not amazing. Killing a booster is pretty nice though. It just gets to both in town column. If he has the counter charger shootout, also pretty nice. If he has a Conro instead. Maybe he switches to counter charger. And he doesn't. He switches to PG, which is understandable. You are at 4, you bunch of dynamics. PGs are never a bad. Does he go for a Newt though? Does he actually use the Newt here? It's actually really questionable if he uses it. Because you're probably not listening. Oh, so he does use it. Okay. He does use it. This is very questionable, especially since he has no counterblocks left. Yeah, this play is questionable just because he locked himself out of any potential follow-up plays. Here. Because he has one count. The only follow-up play that he can possibly have is Neo Flame a booster, Rewrite the Great, or Pain Laser. And those plays are all like iffy. So yeah. This is definitely a ride into Newt right here. You 100% ride into Newt here. Ride into Newt. Not only his skill doesn't actually matter what he does here. These are absolutely the correct triggers. Yeah, obviously, you want triggers. Obviously, actually, I would not have put the PG back. I would have put back the extra whirlwind. I also would have put back the extra whirlwind. It's because the whirlwind is extra newt fodder in case they live. But I guess the logic here is that if you hit a draw trigger into the PG, that's an extra PG you could have. Understandable, I guess. And since the opponent did have to make a call and do this, you just straight up get a counter charge too with the grade 1, meaning you just have a follow up for the next turn as well. Yes, that's fine. That is fine. Yeah, there is an argument here to commit the PG as well, but just looking at the opponent's counterblast, showing that they literally cannot kill more than one intercept. Holding PG and putting intercept down here is the safer play, which is understandable because you still have a follow up with the great regardless. Or pain laser. You blank is fine. You still have double intercept up there going counterblast. They actually just cannot kill you. Like the only fringe card that can randomly kill you here is like blockade, but no one's playing. No need to play around that. See? He had a bunch of Persona Blasts, but he decided to burn his counterblast on a turn before, meaning he got one PG check instead he could have done a soft turn here, like a not as full on turn the turn before and gotten a triple check here, or at least potential triple check. So yeah, and this is game. This is a triple check here. Rewrite Pain Laser. Call grade 2 in front of grade 1, call the grade by itself, and Pain Laser scales to what's it, 20, 21, 23? 23. And he did put the grade 2 up first, which is obviously right, because if you hit like the one Pain Laser left in the deck, you can. Yeah, this is why I think this card is much better when you're playing Pain Laser and doing play sets, because you have a much higher chance to actually grab something off the top of them. His list I know is 1 Pain Laser and 2 mates, so this is basically guaranteed to not do anything. That's mandatory, so you have to proc it. You did find the Pain Laser, not that it does anything here. It actually doesn't do anything. It gives you a follow-up for the next turn, but that's right. So he chooses to play safe instead. You see 2 healed. I guess this is the okay, so he healed, so I guess it didn't matter. But this is definitely a safe play to do instead. And he did have 3 PGs that D6 heal, so. Right, so he did have all the PGs, so I guess this was right. He didn't heal, so I guess it didn't. But I would have just played down the great and just hit with the and just hit Vanguard Booster like that. I guess he didn't have all the PGs, you got the beater with 6 heal, but the play that I would have made would have lost to a 6 heal if he didn't specifically hit heal into draw PG, which he did. So I guess if in the situation where we specifically hit heal into draw PG, I guess it was even if you did my line of play, you could play on the great. That play was definitely greedier, but it probably did let you live even if they did have all the PG needed. Safer play in hindsight, but you did have confirmed lethal here, ignoring 6. There's an argument for both sides. Yeah, that is the end of episode 2 of this. I still don't know what I'm gonna call this. If you want me to roast you or critique your gameplay or deck list, I have links down below. You can either join the Discord and send it to me on the Discord. You can DM me, or you can use the channel I made in my server to do it. If you don't have Discord, you can you can email me. I got my email down there too. Right now at the moment I'm doing these live on stream, so if you want to check me out on stream, link is also down below. Twitch.tv/DJ Zura, and what else I want to plug? Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So that's it. Like and subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys like this kind of content, where I just critique gameplay, this is only possible if you guys send me your gameplays. So definitely looking forward to more of those, and I will see you guys next time.